Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, motion counters FAA challenge to SMO settlement. Senator Schumer asks NTSB to investigate aviation accidents, and MH370 families will try to continue their search. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's March 9th, 2017, and this is Airborne Unlimited. 6 aviation stakeholders have filed a motion before the U.S. Court of Appeals requesting a stay against the FAA and an injunction against the city of Santa Monica preventing any further actions to reduce the length of the runway and to curtail aviation operations at the airport, while the court reviews an unprecedented settlement agreement between the FAA and the city. On January 28th, the FAA and the city announced the two parties had reached a settlement requiring the historic airfield to remain open only through December 31st, 2028, and allowing the city to reduce the length of SMO's sole runway to 3,500 feet. NBAA and others filed a petition last month asking the appeals court to review the legality of that agreement. The filing responds to the FAA's subsequent motion to dismiss that petition and the agency's assertion that the settlement agreement is not a final order subject to review. Aviation stakeholders argue that the FAA failed to follow established procedures when issuing the settlement order, including consideration of its detrimental effects to operators and businesses at the airport and to the national airspace system. In reaching its agreement with the city, FAA disregarded well-established statutory and regulatory prerequisites to the release of an airport sponsor from federal obligations, reads the filing. With what he calls a spate of New York area aviation accidents involving small aircraft continuing, anti-aviation Senator Charles Schumer is urging the NTSB to launch an in-depth investigation into accidents and determine whether additional steps are necessary to help ensure safe skies. The senator often has a tough time getting his facts straight and is well known for his sky-is-falling pronouncements while chasing headlines. Schumer said that in one recent week, 2 aviation accidents occurred without mentioning how many traffic accidents occurred in the same period. Schumer said that at least 18 other small plane accidents occurred in New York last year and that at least 10 accidents occurred on Long Island. Schumer opines that, in addition to its case-by-case investigations, the NTSB should investigate whether there is a larger trend that could reveal clues and help prevent future small plane crashes in our area. Schumer said, "We're only a few months into 2017 and already we've seen 2 small plane crashes here in the New York metro area. It's high time for the NTSB to see why these plane crashes are happening at such an alarming rate." Schumer has sent a letter to NTSB Chairman Christopher Hart calling for the investigation. After the break, MH370 families won't give up their search.
Explore no-limits flying in the FAA-certified Sea Ray Amphibious LSA, one of the top 3 best-selling LSAs in the U.S. Progressive Aerodyne Sea Ray comes equipped with a Rotax engine and exhibits extraordinary handling on land, water, and in the air. Check it out at www.searay.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, the new AMA drone report, or our website or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Relatives of some of the passengers lost when MH370 disappeared in March of 2014 have announced that they plan to try to raise funds to continue the search for the missing Boeing 777. The families hope to raise $15 million to continue the effort. Some $160 million has already been spent in the effort to locate the missing airplane by the governments of Malaysia, Australia, and China. The campaign was announced in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but media reports indicate that Grace Nathan, a Malaysian attorney whose mother was on the plane, said the effort will not begin until we're sure that the governments are not going to resume the search and until the current data has been fully reviewed and analyzed. The family member says that the disappearance of the airplane should not go down in history as an unsolved mystery. More than 20 objects thought to be from the aircraft have been located and analyzed. A final report from the investigation expected to be released later this year. It's Thursday, which means that it's time for an Aero Community Update, highlighting news and information about the incredible people and organizations that populate the Airborne Partnership Initiative behind Airborne Unlimited. March is a big month for Airborne. With Heli Expo coverage just finishing up, ANN has to hustle to Louisiana to prepare for our AEA live programming watched worldwide by the aviation community. Live AEA coverage will take place in New Orleans from March 13th through 16th. Primary live coverage will commence Monday, March 13th, with the webcasting of AEA's pivotal new product introduction series, in which upwards of 30 avionics innovators will reveal new products and programs for a live audience. Show coverage will commence at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. ANN is introducing a new live viewing portal with enhanced functionality, which will be available for all live programming via www.airborne-live.net. 2 more days of informative live interviews and special programming will start Tuesday, March 14th at noon Central Time, with 3+ hours of live programs concentrating on the news created by on Monday's NPI. On Wednesday, March 15th, the second live interview program will commence at 1:00 p.m. Central Time. The day's programming will concentrate on recent avionics issues and AEA business. ANN will be unveiling new program innovations at AEA this year, including pre- and post-show mobile live features involving both the NPI sessions as well as additional mobile live reporting. After these messages, another Global 7000 takes flight.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight 4-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The second flight test vehicle in the Global 7000 and Global 8000 aircraft program completed its initial flight Monday. This milestone indicates that the program's development is progressing and that Global 7000 aircraft is on track to enter into service in the second half of 2018. Jet Support Services Incorporated continues to invest heavily in serving the helicopter market with 18 new helicopter maintenance programs introduced in 2016. A further 10 maintenance programs are already in development for 2017, with more to follow. Robinson Helicopter has announced FAA approval of a new inlet barrier filter for use in R-66 turbine helicopters. Developed specifically for the R-66 by Donaldson Aerospace and Defense, The optional IBF provides added protection for engines operating in dusty environments. The Hernando County, Florida Sheriff's Office has broken up a major marijuana smuggling operation with the seizure of 200 pounds of pot from an airplane at Brooksville, Tampa Bay Regional Airport. Local authorities received a tip from Homeland Security about a suspicious small airplane at the airport. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration released the first images from 2 Earth and solar weather monitoring space instruments aboard the GOES-16 satellite, which launched in November. The new images from the Geostationary Lighting Mapper are a first for continuous lightning tracking in geostationary orbit 22,300 miles above the Earth. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now, let's get back to the rest of the news. 2 female African-American pilots for Delta Airlines made company history February 26 when they comprised the cockpit crew for one of the airline's mainline flights from Detroit to Las Vegas. The pilots, Captain Stephanie Johnson and First Officer Don Cook, flew 555, marking the milestone. Delta confirmed the flight on its website. Atlanta-based First Officer Don Cook learned that Detroit-based Captain Stephanie Johnson, Delta's first African-American female captain, would be flying out of Detroit last Sunday and reached out to Johnson to help facilitate the historic flight. Afterward, Cook posted photos to Facebook to commemorate the flight. Johnson had already made Delta history by becoming the carrier's first African-American female captain. In an interview posted on Delta's website, Johnson said there were no pilots in her life while she was growing up, and she thinks she is the first person in her family to graduate from college. But for as long as I can remember, I have been fascinated with airplanes and would think what a great thing it would be to know how to fly, she explained. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.